For we meet in an hour of change and challenge, in a decade of hope and fear. For the eyes of the world now look into space, to the moon and to the planets beyond. We have had our failures, but so have others, even if they do not admit them. To be sure, we are behind, and will be behind for some time. But we do not intend to stay behind, and in this decade we shall make up and move ahead. But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things. Not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win. The great British explorer George Mallory, who was to die on Mount Everest, was asked why did he want to climb it. He said, because it is there. Well, space is there, and we're going to climb it. And the moon and the planets are there, and new hopes for knowledge and peace are there. And therefore, as we set sail, we ask God's blessing on the most hazardous and dangerous and greatest adventure on which man has ever embarked.
Hello, this is coinmarketcap.com. We're having a look at this after the halving. See what the effects of the halving was. As I predicted, the price dropped for the halving and just immediately after. Now we've seen a surge back up again, as I predicted in the earlier episodes. So here we go, let's have a look after the halving. Market cap $250 billion, nearly 251. 24-hour volume $151 billion. Bitcoin's now at 66% dominance. Okay. Top 100 by market cap. Let's have a look at this. Bitcoin. It's now got a price of $9,016. So look at the graph at the end here. See, after the halving, it shot up and will continue to go up for a while, I believe. If we look at Ethereum, number 2, kind of mirroring the Bitcoin progress, although somewhat of a drop at the end. What are we at with Ethereum? $209.82. Okay. Then we can see here, Tether still $1. How has Bitcoin Cash fared? Not quite as good as Bitcoin itself. Bitcoin Satoshi's version did really well and had a drop off. Litecoin $47. Binance's coin is $7.24. And as we're scrolling down, Monero $61.54, 15th in market cap. And you can see that's had a bit of a rise there, and will continue as added popularity. Everyone I see is pushing Monero forwards. It is the privacy coin of the future. So let's carry on scrolling down. Ethereum Classic $7.41. Dash up to $80, 4.32%. Bit of a drop there and leveling off, but it's still up. Okay. Zcash up 3.67. So they're all up in the same kind of region. Basic attention token, slightly more than average. Hyperion, yet again, is making absolutely outstanding profits. Need to find out more about this Hyperion. VE Chain, the project that let me down, Still holding quite a lot of VTHO. They're still worth nothing. Looking further down, Bitcoin Gold, never really gone anywhere. And there's none of these coins that I would recommend holding. Maybe Waves. Let's have a look at Waves. So the dollar. It hit $14 or $21 in the last bull run, so maybe we could see a good percentage point return with the Waves as an outside speculative investment. And yeah, Steam, not very much going on there. 12% here with Monero, up to $23.19. Getting the smaller of the coins here, making bigger percentage point returns. 22% for Unibright. Now these are the post-halving prices. So here we are, we're post-halving, we're in the bull run after the 2020 halving. And predictions, we had many predictions. Predictions going from all different ranges. Well, it certainly is more than nothing. A lot of people said it will go back to nothing. A few people said it wouldn't even make $1. Here we are, where are we? $9,016.94. Still saying very liquid with $43 billion transferred hands in the last 24 hours. And out of the 21 million that will ever be, there's 18,362,537 out in circulation. Albeit I do believe a big majority of that, well not majority but a big portion, is lost. And can't be used, lost in wallet, when it was all starting up and people forgot their passwords and the mining was a lot more and Bitcoin was worth a lot less. Thousands, tens of thousands of coins, maybe more, have been lost. There's lots of coins just parked up. And on these exchanges, I've heard estimates of only 1 million coins being moved hands. Well, this here would say there's more than that. There's only a finite amount of Bitcoin out there. So buy a Bitcoin now. This price is still under $10,000. I can see it being worth the value of a kilo of gold in the very near future. Yeah, let's make that prediction. Bitcoin to be valued the same price or more than 1 kilo of gold by... let's be generous. Let's say April the 1st, 2021. So it'll be more than that by next year. I think a lot more. I think that's playing it too safe. But I'm going on a bit now. It's a long video. So that's been our run-up of the post-halving effects of 2020 on Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency world. It's me, Rob, over and out.
On the pandemic. As you know, in order to flatten the curve, we've had to turn off the machine. The machine has not been turned off for a long time. Nobody even remembers who turned it on. So please bear with us as we consult the manual after prizing it from the shitted pants of capitalism and figure out what to do next. While we wait, we thought we should have a little chat about what just happened. Scientists had been warning us for decades to prepare for this crisis. Did we? Of course not. The machine said there was no profit in preventing future crises. So instead, Instead, most of us opted for an alternative policy. Total fucking panic, dead people and bullshit. Here at the Chinese government, this meant covering up the virus and deaths, disappearing truth tellers, arresting activists while no one's watching, making up conspiracies, making the WHO our bitch, and then trying to cast ourselves as the saviors of the world. Here at the British government, where we spent the past decade bankrupting the NHS, this sentient ham caught the virus and almost died of irony as his life was saved by the migrant nurses we've been blaming for unemployment. In Europe, we care about unity, so we turned our backs on the Italians and said cazzi vostri. In Brazil, where our fascist fuckchop still thinks it's just the flu, we left it to street gangs to protect the favelas. In India, we stoked violence against Muslims by blaming them for the virus. In Poland and Hungary, we gave up on democracy. In North Korea, we slipped into a coma. And in Belarus, we told you to drink vodka and left you to crowdfund your own healthcare. Fajna i normalna. But nowhere has our policy been more evident than in backward countries and failed states, like the US. Here, as thousands of people died and got buried in mass graves, Il Duce left you to fight each other over medical equipment by entrusting it to his little shit goblin-in-law. No, this isn't a dystopian sci-fi flick. This is the result of 4 cancerous decades of neoliberal shitfuckery. Sure, in some places we aren't doing too badly. Here at the Australian government, we shocked the world by not being the shittest for once. And in New Zealand, we depressed the world by reminding you that unfortunately this isn't your leader. But sadly, when it comes to flattening that other much bigger curve that scientists have also been warning us about for decades, it won't be enough for only some of us to get it right. Closing our borders won't help. We either all nail it, or we all total fucking panic dead people and bullshit. Oh look, the machine is almost ready to restart. Before we go back to normal, know that during this pause we too have noticed the reminders of what we've lost. Time with our children, life returning to our shores, cities and neighborhoods, the sight of the Himalayas, of the universal logo, and of those distant places awaiting us if we don't blow this. These signs of a better world are enticingly close. If only we could just... This has been a message from your local government franchise. Send help.
Bitcoin accepted here. Links are down below for the address. If you want to donate Bitcoin, Ethereum or Monero to keep this show running, please do. Like, share, subscribe.
Tell me the one about the virus again, then I'll go to bed.
But my boy, you're growing weary, sleepy thoughts about your head.
Please, that one's my favourite. I promise just once more.
Okay, snuggle down, my boy, though I know you know full well. The story starts before then, in a world I once would dwell. It was a world of waste and wonder, of poverty and plenty. Back before we understood why hindsight's 2020. You see, the people came up with companies to trade across all lands, but they swelled and got much bigger than we ever could have planned. We'd always had our wants, but now it got so quick. You could have anything you dreamed of in a day, and with a click. We noticed families had stopped talking. That's not to say they never spoke, but the meaning must have melted, and the work-life balance broke. And the children's eyes grew squarer, and every toddler had a phone. They filtered out the imperfections, but amidst the noise, they felt alone. And every day the skies grew thicker, till you couldn't see the stars. So we flew in planes to find them, while down below, we filled our cars. We'd drive around all day in circles. We'd forgotten how to run. We swapped the grass for tarmac, shrunk the parks till there were none. We filled the sea with plastic, because our waste was never capped, until each day when you went fishing you'd pull them out, already wrapped. And while we drank and smoked and gambled, our leaders taught us why. It's best to not upset the lobbies, more convenient to die. But then in 2020, a new virus came our way. The governments reacted and told us all to hide away. But while we all were hidden, amidst the fear and all the while, the people dusted off their instincts. They remembered how to smile. They started clapping to say thank you and calling up their mums, and while the car keys gathered dust, they would look forward to their runs. And with the skies less full of voyagers, the earth began to breathe, and the beaches bore new wildlife that scuttled off into the seas. Some people started dancing, some were singing, some were baking. We'd grown so used to bad news, but some good news was in the making. And so when we found the cure, and were allowed to go outside, we all preferred the world we found to the one we'd left behind. Old habits became extinct, and they made way for the new, and every simple act of kindness was now given its due.
But why did it take a virus to bring the people back together?
Well, sometimes you've got to get sick, my boy, before you start feeling better. Now lie down and dream of tomorrow, and all the things that we can do. And who knows, if you dream hard enough, maybe some of them will come true. We now call it the Great Realization. And yes, since then there have been many. But that's the story of how it started, and why hindsight's 20/20.